Welcome back to the SuperTuxPodcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Chocolate Shake, and this is
Whipped Cream.
Yes, sir. So, it's definitely been a while since the last episode and the last episode.
Yeah, well, we're not talking about that episode because this is the real second episode.
Yeah, other one doesn't exist.
The other one actually doesn't exist.
Yeah.
We deleted it. The government deleted it.
Yeah.
So, this is the real second episode. And what are we going to talk about today?
Well, today we're going to be talking about Valve, but you're probably wondering why Valve, or even if you don't know who is Valve, which if you don't know who they are, then I don't know why you're listening to this. No, but so basically they're a game developer, and they have an upcoming game that's been sort of highly anticipated, because it's not...
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's not what everybody wanted, but it's close.
Right.
It's basically a sequel to Half-Life 2. Or, no, a prequel. It's a new Half-Life game, is the point. And we've waited, how many years? 12 years, I think? 2007 was Half-Life 2. We've been wanting Half-Life 3 forever. And because they just left it on cliffhanger, and us Half-Life fans are like, okay, can we finish the series, please? But they're giving us this prequel instead, which is cool. It looks cool. I saw the trailer, and I really like the look of the trailer. But I don't think it's what everybody wanted.
Right. So how do you feel about them doing a prequel versus a sequel that they could have done to continue the story?
I think it's definitely a step in the right direction because it's the third game in a series, technically, even though it's not the third game. It's a third game in the Half-Life series. And they haven't learned to count to 3 before this time. So
that's true.
That's definitely a step in the right direction, in my opinion. So in the future, we can hopefully get a true sequel and finish the story.
Right, because there's still no Portal 3.
Right.
There's still no Team Fortress 3.
Right. Well, we don't need Team Fortress 3, but...
Dude, imagine, though. That would be kind of tight, though.
That would be cool with the upgraded graphics, but... Yeah.
Yeah.
Team Fortress 2 is still going strong.
All right, so the name of this new prequel is Half-Life Alyx, and if you don't know, it's a VR-only game, and it actually looks pretty advanced for a VR game, not even gonna lie. It's essentially take a first-person action game, but just make it VR. So how do you feel about it just being VR only versus normal, just PC or any console?
Well, I mean, I don't have VR of any kind, and I don't plan on buying VR, even though this is really cool and I would like to play it. I don't plan on buying VR, and the fact that I have to buy VR to play it is kind of sad to me, but...
Do you feel like it'll entice people to start picking up VR more? Because it
might.
It's very cinematic from what the trailer showed.
It definitely looks cool. Half-Life fans and Valve fans in general probably would pick up VR for it if they're really like Valve. So that might bring sales up. I don't know what VR system is it going to be on.
I can't remember. There's 2 of them that it's on, but I know that's one of the ones that are on PC though. It's not on PlayStation VR or anything like that, or Switch VR. Labo VR.
Labo VR. That would be interesting. So yeah, I mean, it might, and it's hard to say nice things about Valve sometimes, but I think they are doing a pretty good job with this.
All right.
So there's that, but I mean, what else about Valve? What else are they doing? This is the first new game they're making in a while. They made Artifact, I think. First real new game. Artifact was a card game, I think.
Oh.
So they made that, but that doesn't really count. So, I mean, there's that, and they still support CSGO and Dota, but I'm a huge TF2 fan, and they don't support our competitive scene very much at all. So I kind of wish they would put a little bit of time into that, because they haven't given us a new update in over a year. A real new update with new items and stuff.
Right.
So I'm not feeling the love.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man, because I don't really have that much history with Valve besides coming over your house and playing TF2 the few times that I have. That's literally the only experience I've ever had with Valve. So what's your history with Valve? How much do they mean to you, I guess, essentially?
A lot. The Valve really is how I got into PC gaming in general, and a lot of gaming, because my dad made me a Steam account when I was younger, and I didn't know what the heck Steam was, so it was just kind of sitting there, and then I decided to use it one day, And Steam is made by Valve, if you didn't know. It's basically the only way to play PC games.
Sure.
And so I started playing on it, and I just started looking through the free-to-play section because I didn't have money. I was a kid. And I found Team Fortress 2 for free. I'm like, okay, this looks cool. Let's try this. And I was hooked on it, and I obsessed over that game forever. Then I stopped playing it for a little bit, then came back. So, it's on and off. I stop and I come back to this game always. But then I also thought, like, okay, Valve, they made this cool game. What else do they have? So I looked around, and I found the Orange Box, which is the best purchase ever. Buy it on Steam. Because you Half-Life 2, Portal 1, and 2, maybe. Team Fortress 2, but it's free. And I think CSGO, maybe. It gives you a lot of Valve games, and it's cool. It's like $20. It's a good deal. Yeah. So I picked that up, and I played Half-Life. Loved that. Portal, loved that. I don't really like CSGO, but that's just me. So yeah, that's pretty much my Valve history.
Yeah. So have you played Half-Life 1, or you only played Half-Life 2?
I have played Half-Life 1, a little bit. I haven't finished Half-Life 1 though. I played Black Mesa also, which is a Half-Life 1 remake, making it look like Half-Life 2 and play like Half-Life 2, but it's the story of Half-Life 1.
Oh, okay.
So I've played most of that, but they haven't finished it yet, so I'm waiting for them to finish it. But that was fun. It was cool.
So it's in like only early access then?
Yeah, it's still in early access.
And they still haven't finished it?
Nope.
In 2019?
Yeah.
It's almost the end of 2019.
Yeah. Early access games take forever.
Oh, God. I guess that's like Fortnite. That's still in early access, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it might be, because they haven't finished the Save the World mode, I don't think.
Oh, yeah. Nobody plays Save the World.
Exactly. Well, that was the original idea, and they're just like, forget this. Like,
yeah, Battle Royale.
Yeah, that's where all the money's at.
Yeah.
So, makes sense. Yeah. So, I don't really know too much about Half-Life, so could you give, like, a summary of the story, basically?
Okay, yeah. Spoiler alert. Half-Life 2, spoiler alert. You want Half-Life 1?
If you can do both, go ahead.
I don't remember 1 as well, but I will try. So Half-Life 1, you play as Gordon Freeman, who is a scientist in some kind of company called, I think they're called Black Mesa. I think that's the name of the company. And you have to do some experiment that goes horribly wrong, and it like brings aliens to the Earth or something. And then the military is also like trying to kill you and the aliens. I don't know why the military is trying to kill you. I don't know what their problem is. But you pretty much have to, like, everything's trying to kill you. And you have to get out of this lab, and then you have to go make your way across a desert to another lab where you have to go through this portal, and I haven't made it any further. I go into the portal, and Black Mesa hasn't made it that far. Like, that's the end of that game. I don't think it's the end of the Half-Life 1, though.
Yeah.
So that happens. Then whatever happens in the portal happens. And then we get to Half-Life 2, where you are, again, Gordon Freeman, and you start on a train going to a city called City 17, and it's taken over by the aliens. The aliens kind of have taken over the Earth. And humans are basically slaves to these aliens. So you get to that city, and then you somehow escape. You meet Alex Vance, who is the star of Half-Life Alyx. You meet Dr. someone. What's his name? Dr. Kleiner. Barney and Alex's dad, who is named Alex's dad. I forgot his name also. I don't remember these names. But anyway, you meet a lot of cool characters. They have a lot of personality. And it's definitely really cool. Definitely a fun story. You get immersed into it, and you really love the characters. So in that game, you have to defeat an enemy. Wow, look at that. You defeat an enemy in a video game. Wow. No, you have to make your way across like the whole country, really, and get to this big tower, which is like the main headquarters for the aliens, and kind of destroy the tower, I think. And then I'm pretty sure once you do that, you have to evacuate the city, because like the tower's going to explode and destroy everything. So you're like, okay, let's get out of here so we don't die. And you're with Alex and her dad at some point, and then at the end of the game, you're with Alex and her dad, and these two like big aliens come up, with these long-legged aliens come up and capture you, and then this big like worm-looking alien shoots this tube out of his whatever, out of his mouth or something. I don't know. He's crazy. It's crazy stuff. But he shoots this tube out of its mouth, impales Alex's dad in the neck, and the screen goes dark. Credits roll. It is the.
Are you serious?
Yes. It's the biggest, and you just hear Alex in the background crying, and that's all. That's the game.
And they still won't make the sequel.
That's why we. That's why we want the sequel, because they left it on such a big cliffhanger. It's such an important cliffhanger, and they just leave it forever, and I hate it.
What? Whoa, the screen just turned off.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, but okay. See, I didn't know that that's what people were waiting on. Okay, yeah, something like that. I can understand why people are like hungry for a sequel.
Oh my goodness, yes, it's terrible.
It's so dumb.
I know. Valve is so mean to us. Valve, please love us.
Man.
Yeah.
So, okay, so all right, so it's a first person game, right?
Right.
So is it first person shooter, or is it like there's more to it than just that?
It's a first person puzzle solver and shooter. Because you pick up various guns, you don't upgrade them, but you get better guns as you go on. But there are also puzzles to solve, like physics-based puzzles.
Oh.
Which it's definitely an interesting game. Definitely an interesting concept for a game that I hadn't seen anywhere before Half-Life. So I think that's what really is the draw for people, is that it's a physics-based first-person puzzle solver and shooter.
Right, because with the physics, that leads to a whole bunch of experimentation, like probably multiple ways to solve each puzzle.
Yeah,
because that's kind of like Breath of the Wild, like how you
Right.
can solve each shrine in like any way, basically.
Definitely.
And even like games like Smash Bros, because I've like seen somebody talk about with traditional fighting games, they feel like they're boring to watch because they're so predictable. Versus like with Smash, it's physics based, everything's always different.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that's
definitely cool.
Yeah, that definitely seems like that would be really interesting. So how do you think that kind of gameplay will translate into VR, I guess?
Well, from what I saw from Half-Life Alyx's trailer, it's pretty similar to normal Half-Life, and I think it looked like it would translate pretty well to VR, because they made like the gunplay more realistic, with like you actually have to reload because it's VR, and with those gravity glove thingies, that's like the gravity gun that you had in Half-Life 2. So I think it will translate pretty well, because using those physics mechanics in a VR setting seems like a really cool idea.
Right.
I think it would be fun.
Yeah. So do you think that? Okay, this is probably gonna sound like a really like dumb / weird question.
Lay it on me.
But do you think that the VR would make the game more immersive, or do you think it would feel just about the same as if you just normally play it?
Well, I've never actually used VR of any kind. I don't know if you have.
I have Switch VR. That's about it.
Yeah, so I don't know how immersive VR is to begin with, but I could imagine that it could actually be more immersive, because you feel like you're in the world. If VR actually does that, if it actually makes you feel like you're in the game, that would be really cool. Because, like, obviously, you feel like you're in the game when you're sitting at a mouse and keyboard, so if you have a headset on and you're, like, actually moving around, that would be even cooler.
Right. Yeah, because from my experience with VR, just from using the Switch's VR, I'd say, I mean, I guess, yeah, it does immerse you, but then again, I don't really have, like, a comparison to just normal VR, because, like, with Switch VR, it's different since you have, like, actual physical objects that you're holding, because I've heard some people say that have even used a whole bunch of VR, they said that Switch VR feels a little more immersive because you're holding actual objects and like interacting with them like that.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not sure if that would be it, or just because, like you said, it's just the action looks more realistic. Like you're actually moving stuff around with your hands, actually picking stuff up.
Yeah.
When you're loading weapons, you're actually like loading the weapons.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it looks like it could be like really immersive though compared to other VR.
Yeah, I definitely have optimism for it, but I'll have to see gameplay of it probably.
Right. So do you think you'll try to watch someone play it then, since you don't have VR yourself?
I think I will.
Yeah.
Unless I can go somewhere and like, I don't know. Unless I can go somewhere that has it on VR.
Yeah, I know they have VR, but I'm not sure if they have like PC VR. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to check. Oh, in case you don't know what that is, not sponsored, but
maybe one day.
But
if they get enough money.
Paul's Gamer Zone, nice gaming lounge in
it's a cool place.
Massillon, Ohio.
Yeah,
it's chill.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really fun place to go. We go there for our Smash weeklies sometimes.
Yeah.
And we destroy.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, we don't get too many people over there, so Yeah, it'd definitely be cool if we could get more people in there, because I feel like they might struggle financially sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to go out of business. They're pretty cool.
Right.
So
people there are nice.
Yeah.
It's a good time. Bunch of games.
Yeah. Oh, the game library is awesome.
It's really good, actually.
Yeah.
We gotta go up there. I'm almost on my 6th stamp thing, so that means I get 7th entry free.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, we can go up over Christmas break.
Yeah, that's gotta happen.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I guess anything else really that you have to say about, Valve, Half-Life Alyx, anything?
I don't know. I don't really know. Nobody knows too much about Half-Life Alyx yet because of how new it is. But I feel like the future of Valve could be really bright if this game takes off, but it could also be bad because they've stopped supporting some of their very, very successful games. So I feel like if they don't start supporting those again, they might struggle. But they have Steam, so selling other people's games is lucrative. So they'll probably be okay.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing. It's like, it seems like they will always financially be okay. But what do you think? Kind of limiting the market with this game since it's VR only. How much do you think that'll limit the market and appeal of this game, of Half-Life Alyx?
I think it will limit it more than just making it like a normal console or PC game, because less people have VR.
Right.
But if VR evolves and becomes more of a household name, household thing that more people have, like a PC,
right,
then it would probably help with it. And this might even help turn VR into that household thing.
Right, because I don't know if you've heard of Game Explained, their gaming journalist publication, and basically the head of that, Andre Seegers, he's been saying that he's been thinking that VR has been needing basically a Mario 64 for it to where it's like, this proves that this concept could work, like how Mario 64 basically proved 3D platformers can work, because everyone's like, well, I don't see how they can turn this into 3D and then it'll work, but it showed how it works. So I think that this game could definitely be pretty much like the Mario 64 of VR and show a proof of concept that you can make immersive games through VR.
Yeah, that's true. I see what you're saying with the Mario 64 thing.
Yeah.
That's definitely something VR needs, because it's a really cool concept, and I mean, it's crazy that someone thought of that, but again, not as many people have VR as normal consoles, so it's,
Right.
You know how that is.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think, but like you said, hopefully it'll kind of help VR to catch on, because who knows, it could probably lead to a lot of other crazier, more cinematic experiences just kind of like that. Because, so far, the best examples of VR games that I've heard of are, I think, is it called Astrobot? I can't remember. It's on PlayStation VR. It's this 3D platformer to where you kind of you're sitting in the background and you control this robot with the controller, and you actually have to use the DualShock 4 to do certain things, you can spawn wires and stuff that it can jump off of and things like that. And I've heard that that's a pretty good experience, but this kind of shows that you can actually do things if the developers take the time to actually make a full game out of it, pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, something like Minecraft VR looks really cool to me, because I really like Minecraft. I know you don't play Minecraft too much, but I really have loved Minecraft since I played it when I was younger, and I think playing it in a virtual reality setting would make it even cooler because of the freedom you get and the creativity that is allowed in that game. So
I didn't even know there was Minecraft VR.
There is, actually. Yeah, I've watched gameplay of it, and it looks pretty fun.
Wow.
Because it makes the combat more realistic than just clicking the mouse button.
Right.
Because you actually swing the sword and it actually hits, so it's cool. It's definitely a cool concept.
Is that on PC?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think it's on console.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say,
Yeah.
Switch VR?
That would be cool. I would be down with that, but...
Especially since that's only $40 if you get the basic kit, so
yeah.
That's not too bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Definitely. Cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Any final thoughts?
I don't think so. I think we talked about Valve pretty well today.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully you learned a thing or two.
I did learn a thing or two. All right.
Cool.
So, It was great chat, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. And come back next time whenever we finally record because we don't have a schedule. Whenever we see you, we will see you next time. Goodbye.
All right, laters.